you guys hadn't won there so long, you could argue it's the biggest win of the season. So
I don't know. You know, it's Georgetown Syracuse. I think I probably worded it best. Every game in the Big East is extremely important. That game is special. That game is over. Marquette's up next.
right. How much do you feel like you guys have learned from maybe the tough losses in those tight games about staying mentally into a game down the stretch?
Which tight games?
I don't know, maybe like the St. John's game, for example, just comes to my mind. Just about making the plays when they need to be made.
Yeah, and I'm trying to think of the scores on the St. John's game. Was close. Temple was close. What did they end up? What was that?
6. They ended up 6, but it was
okay. What did they learn? What did they say when you asked that question?
That they have learned from it. I mean, that the guys are mentally, that they are experienced and they're taking those experience and building on them.
I don't know what they've learned, to be honest. I mean, I think that what we know, what we have to do every possession is to be focused and to execute at both ends of the court. Now, they knew that during those games also. And so, you know, I just think in general, we have had probably a better, all 13, 14 guys, assistant coaches, head coaches, just a better focus on what needs to be done as a unit, as a group, as you come down towards the end.
Do you feel like things change in terms of how you handle these guys in the huddle and things like that? Do you feel like you change at all?
Nope.
I mean, it feels like when we see you, you always seem to keep a level head throughout a game, and that's maybe something that's different than certain other coaches.
Define level head.
Well, we don't see
just
you.
Just because you don't see me.
I hear bad words.
Does that mean I'm keeping a level head?
Sometimes. Okay.
You know, I can berate you in front of 20,000 people. I can say, look here, you better do this. What's better? That's a question. What's better?
Depends on. That's your. I mean, you're the coach. You know what's better.
But I'm right. But ask your question in a different way.
Are you? How can you be different than Bob Huggins?
That's easy. Is that a loaded question? What do you mean? What do you want me to say?
I'm just asking about your style in the huddle, and is that always been your way? And do you feel like that's effective? Just, I mean, are there pluses and minuses about yelling at kids in front of 20,000 people?
I think that this is how I'm interpreting what you're asking. I keep asking. I'm trying to get at the heart of what you're asking. You're interpreting the fact that 20,000 people don't see me acting demonstrative. That is interpreted as I don't get on them, or I don't make demands of them, or they are not held accountable. And if that's what you're asking, that's 100% inaccurate. And so how you get on someone, and so that they understand what's expected of them. Different people's personalities, different people respond differently.
Yeah.
And so that's what I'm like, what are you saying? Do you not get on them? Well, of course I do. Now, does that mean the person sitting in the 200 level has to say, there he goes, way to go, coach?
Right.
That's irrelevant. I just want to get a response. I don't want to get a response.
Would you agree that since the second half of the Villanova game, Julian Vaughn's probably had the best stretch of his career here at Georgetown the past 3 games plus that half?
I think he's playing very well right now. I quite honestly can't remember all the stretches, but he's at both ends of the court. I think right now, Julian is playing at a high level, and it's coming at a time where we need it. You know, he's made big baskets, and he's gotten big rebounds, and had key defensive stops for several games here. And so, you know, I don't want to think of it as a stretch, or I forget how you worded it, but I want to think that that's just who he is now.
Okay. So, why are his second halves so much better than his first halves? Is that?
What did he say to that?
He kind of danced around with it a little bit. I said, you know, are you the kind of guy, not a slow starter, but someone to kind of take the temperature for the game and kind of see what's going on? And then,
you know, I think a lot of it is tied in with that, but I think it takes him a while to get into the rhythm of how he's being played, how whoever he's going against is playing. And once he settles into that rhythm, he has been much more effective in the second half.
Where did the baby hook come from? I think I saw it like once in the first 15 games, and now
I think you got to go watch the tapes a little more. I think he shot it more than once.
Okay, but I mean now it's like his go-to move, and it's really working. I want to say he had 1 lefty and 3 righties against Syracuse. Is it something that you've preached to him that he needs?
I mean, we worked on that with all our big guys from the day they walk in the door.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying. I think that's been his go-to move. Maybe he's just throwing it up there more now.
Okay.
But that's something that we work on from day one. It's a shot that I believe in. That if executed properly, very difficult, if not impossible, to be blocked. It's just whether you make it or whether you miss it.
Right.
So that's something that we work on from day one.
So he now, it seemed that he made 4 of them the other day, so he's got confidence in it to go to it, especially in the clutch. I mean, like,
Did he say that?
No, that's me saying that. But I mean, the few times he threw it up against Syracuse, I mean, those were pivotal parts of the game.
Correct.
Yeah.
So yes.
Okay.
What can you say about Austin Freeman's performance this year?
Just generic. How's his performance this year?
His career. I mean, is he the biggest player of the year in your mind?
I think the next couple of weeks will determine that. I think he's in the equation without a doubt. And Austin Freeman has been Austin Freeman. He's doing what we needed him to do, what we expected him to do. He's having a good year.
Do you think your use of Chris as the trigger man in the interior of that zone, do you think it kind of threw them back, Syracuse back a little bit? Do you think they expected that? Or for you to use it as much as you did?
I have no idea what they expected, to tell you the truth. We thought it could be effective. I think, again, that zone is terrific. And what it forces you to do, they're so long, and you're open. You watch the tapes, and oh, this is open, but you're only open for a split second. And then they smother you. And also what it forces you to do, just play catch around the perimeter, because you're not really sure what's open inside. But once you get it inside, you have to have someone in there, not only that can pass, but can absorb the heat, because there's got 6 hands swiping at you. And Chris is tough enough to get in there and absorb the heat and then make the right decisions. So he was effective in that role.
From the TV, it seemed like you set him up with that cut with Clark at the end of the game, whatever. They kept on moving away from the back baseline, giving it up, and it seemed like your team set it up. Did you tell your guys to hold that in their pocket until later, or?
No, we wanted to do that first play of the game. But I think as the game went on, like I said, like you alluded to, it's easy to say Syracuse plays 2-3, but they have so many different looks. And one time you come down the court and this is open, next time they take that away. And once they do a very good job down through the years, and once they see how you're trying to attack their zone, of taking that away. But that's something we thought that if we could get it in the middle, because their forwards come out, their forwards, right, along with the guards, put pressure on your higher guys, your guards, that we thought that might be open. So it was just the timing just worked out well.
What do you expect from Marquette out of your team that's got some pretty good wins on its resume, and they're pretty desperate at this moment?
It's another Big East game, and I say that to say they have some really good players. They're well coached. They have some really good wins. It's another dogfight. It's another tough game. It's another game where we have to come out extremely focused and extremely observant, and attentive at both ends of the court. They are a very good team, very, very good offensive team, and they do a terrific job of helping each other on defense. They really, one person gets beaten, all of a sudden you see 2 people rotating over. They force you to throw the second, third, fourth pass, and even then they're coming to help each other.
In a big game like Syracuse, were you especially impressed by your bench's performance?
What did the bench do?
Well, Markel had some big shots, and Nate's been good. I mean, you've started him, so it's not I expect you to tell me that they're supposed to play like that, but since they're freshmen, they've never been on that big of a stage before, so were you? Okay.
I expect Markel when they get in there to do exactly what they did. I guess I asked the question because in many ways, at this point in the year, I'm not looking at it as this person's a starter, this person's a bench player, this person, should play X.
Then as freshmen, since they've never been to.
Let me finish. So we're a team, and so once at this point, everyone has had enough experience and know what they're supposed to do, that when they get in there, regardless of whether they're one of the first 5 out there, or whether they're freshman, sophomore, junior, that once they get out there, that they should be ready to perform. And so they did what they were supposed to do.